You're in the shower, not really thinking about anything. And then, out of nowhere, you're in a conversation. Not out loud, but in your head. You're explaining something, defending yourself, replaying what you should say. Maybe it's an argument, a message you've been avoiding, something awkward, something important. You play both sides. You give yourself perfect lines. You imagine their response. You respond again. Sometimes you win. Sometimes it goes horribly wrong. Either way, it feels real. And then you actually have the conversation later, and none of it happens the way you imagined. So what is this? Why do we rehearse conversations that never happen? Your brain is simulating the future.
Not casually, but in a very specific way. When you imagine a conversation vividly enough, your brain activates many of the same systems as if it were actually happening. The part that thinks about people, the part that processes emotion, even the part that detects threat, which means your body reacts. You can feel nervous, relieved, embarrassed, all from something that isn't even real. Because to your brain, it kind of is. You're not just thinking, you're rehearsing. Here's the key idea. Your brain isn't built to just react to life. It's built to predict it. It's constantly asking, what's about to happen, and am I ready for it? And social situations? Those are the hardest to predict. Because people are unpredictable. They have moods, reactions, egos, emotions. You can't control them. So your brain does the next best thing. It tries to prepare. By running scenarios in advance. What if they say this? What if it goes badly? What if I mess up? It's not overthinking. It's your brain trying to reduce uncertainty.
Ever notice this happens right before sleep? Or when you're just staring at nothing? That's not random. When you're not focused on the outside world, a network in your brain becomes active. It's basically your internal mode. This is where your brain replays the past, imagines the future, thinks about people. So when everything is quiet, your brain turns inward and starts building scenarios, using everything it knows about that person, their tone, their reactions, their patterns. It's not wandering, it's constructing. But here's the real reason it feels intense. Your brain treats social situations as high stakes. Rejection, conflict, embarrassment. These aren't just uncomfortable. To your brain, they're threats. Real ones. The same systems that react to physical pain also react to social pain. So when you're about to have a difficult conversation, your brain goes into preparation mode. It tries to protect you by rehearsing over and over. Say this. Don't say that. Avoid this outcome. It's not trying to stress you out. It's trying to keep you safe.
Here's where it gets weird. When you imagine the conversation going badly, you feel it. That tension, that embarrassment, that dread. Because your brain doesn't fully separate imagined emotions from real ones. So you end up experiencing a fake future with real feelings. And there's a catch. Your brain is terrible at predicting how bad things will actually feel. It exaggerates. It turns things up. So the version in your head is usually worse than reality.
Now here's the paradox. You rehearse everything. Perfect lines, perfect timing, perfect responses. And then the real conversation happens, and it falls apart. Why? Because you're not talking to the real person. You're talking to your version of them. A simplified version. A predictable version. Real people don't follow your script. They interrupt. They react differently. They surprise you.
And in real life, you don't have time to think perfectly. You're listening, processing, feeling, all at once. So the calm, articulate version of you from your head doesn't always show up. So, is this helpful or harmful? Both. If you use it to clarify what you want to say, understand your emotions, prepare calmly, it can actually help. But if you're just looping the same worst-case scenario over and over, that's not preparation. That's rumination. And that's where it starts to drain you. The difference is simple. Are you moving forward or just replaying? So why do you rehearse conversations that never happen? Because your brain is trying to predict the future.
Because people are unpredictable. Because social situations matter. And because you care. You don't rehearse meaningless conversations. You rehearse the ones that feel important. The ones where something is at stake. A relationship. A moment. A version of yourself. So the next time it happens, don't just think, why am I like this? Think, my brain is trying to prepare me. It just doesn't always get it right. And maybe you don't need the perfect script. You just need to show up. Anyway, what's a conversation you've replayed way too many times? I know you've got one.